Ask about me. Investors ask about me. I'm a hustler. I'm a hustler, homie. I'm a hustler. I'm a hustler, homie. Investors ask about investors ask about me. I'm a hustler. I'm a hustler, homie. I'm a hustler. I'm a hustler, homie.
3, 2, 1. All right, we are back with part 2 of Nick Tang's interview. This is Chuck Daddy After Hours, and we're going to continue getting to know the legend. Nick, say hi to everybody.
Hey guys, how you doing?
Oh my God, we were getting a little fucking emotional last time. It kind of went way over about an hour and a half. We were taking a trip down memory lane, and honestly, I mean, it just kind of really reminded me how much of a past and a history we share together. And I think, Christ, we were messaging each other for like a week after this. Clearly, some fond memories where we definitely helped each other out. And I don't know, it just left me feeling all warm and fuzzy. So let's do part 2. Let's get right into it. What I want to know is, what does the future hold for Nick Tang? Like, where do you see yourself in a year, 5 years, 10 years? And how old are you, brother?
Oh, okay. Yeah, so I actually just turned 40 this past December. And what happened?
I said Mazel Tov.
Oh, okay. And I love real estate. I've been doing real estate for 13, 14 years now. It's taken care of me really well. It's taught me a lot. One of the things that it taught me was because all my life up until I was like 23, I've been making money with money, and losing it all, like I said at the last recording, and learning how to make money with no money really changed my life. It really shaped my future. And through real estate, I was able to, learn that, get really good at it, build, not just learn how to wholesale, fix and flip properties, but build a portfolio, raise money. And for a few years already, like people will have asked me, hey, Nick, do you do like apartment complexes? Do you do, like have you gone bigger? Like, or are you doing that? Or why haven't you done that? And I will say, it's kind of interesting because like I've always thought when I first started in this business that I would eventually get into apartment complexes.
Me too. I mean, I guess technically I kind of have some, but
right. I have like the smaller unit count, like but
4,
it's
6, 8.
But like it's kind of like, why haven't I done the like the 100, 150, 200? And I think I would say that if you do something long enough, you're gonna get bored.
Yeah, I would agree with you on that. And like, I had another question for you too, where if we could just take a step back.
Sure.
You made money, you lost money, right? You learned how to make money with no money. And I know that this is something that I struggled with, right? Because, I mean, I was raised in a bakery, like, had to have a work ethic. I mean, Chris, thinking back, like, I don't even know if I had much of a childhood. I was never a boy. It was always like, young man, you have responsibilities. And, like, all of a sudden, you're flipping houses with $10 and making 30, 50, 70 grand. And then you got rental properties. And, like, you wake up, you go to your fucking P.O. box, and by the 5th of the month, I've collected 20 grand. And by the 15th, it's like 40. Did that come with any feelings of guilt for you? Because I know for me, it was like, I got this guy crying over here that I bailed out of foreclosure, and these people who just got their first home crying. And it's like, how the fuck is my job? This isn't even real.
Guilt? I think you shared this process really well way back. We're helping people. It's not like we're not putting these people into the situation and life that they're in.
No, most of the time I approach it, and it's like, I can't make this any worse.
Yeah, and so when we are able to buy these houses or cut these deals, and when I say cut these deals, like, we're not necessarily cutting deals with people that need to sell because they're in a bad shape, and because of that, we're cutting a deal with them to take advantage of them. We're cutting deals with the banks. We're cutting deal with lien holders, with people that have, in a way, a power over them to get them out of their situation, and the goal is to be able to cut the deal so that we can help these people not have foreclosure in their record or this or that, or to be able to give them some money so that they can get started again. So I think that is how I've always was able to kind of see it. Because I'm not like, hey, if you can sell your house for more, like this, like, let me help you do that. I'll list it as an agent. I'll do this. I'll do that. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And I encourage people to do that. But I'm always the worst case scenario, like the least resort, last resort. And the goal is never really for them to have to work with me. The goal is for them to be helped by somebody else that can give them more. Um, and I think like I eventually got good at the game when I got into dealing with properties on the real on MLS, working with realtors, and there is different. There, you actually have to know how to play the game. Like you have to know that the realtors are playing games with you. You gotta know how to negotiate. You gotta know when they're bluffing. That's a different playing field. That's a playing field where, like, look, there's a seller on the other side and they want to sell, and you think they're the ones making the decisions on selling it to you or not. But the reality is they're not. It's really the realtor controlling the deal. And so in those cases, like, it's again, it's not guilt, but it's like you got to know how to play. But with direct to homeowners, we're helping people.
Yeah, direct to homeowners was always my sweet spot. I can't stand realtors. I mean, I
Yeah,
used to walk into a house with the realtor and I just open up with, I fucking hate you.
Right.
Go wait in the car.
The only reason why I ever even entered the realtor space is because around 2010, 2011, you can go on MLS and there were just so many deals that you could buy. They weren't like the same discount as you can get if you bought direct to seller.
Yeah.
But I didn't have to go meet with the seller. I can just make an offer, get it under contract, and close. Or send out an inspector, look at it. It was like I didn't have to build a rapport. I didn't have to leave. Like I didn't have to do any marketing. So I got into that game because of that, and it worked for a good 5 years. Not having to do any marketing and still being able to buy. Sure, if I did marketing, I would get it for $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 cheaper or significantly cheaper. But it just wasn't worth it. And at least to me, and I came up with that perspective through imagining how does a hedge fund invest? Hedge funds aren't necessarily doing direct marketing. They're working with brokers and they're buying portfolios and things like that, or units from banks and institutions in as many doors as possible. And so I thought maybe that the realtor route was kind of like my way towards that direction.
Yeah, I mean, I took the realtor's class myself, but I never hung my license.
I'm still working on it, and it's been 12 years.
So I actually got court ordered to take the realtor's class.
Really? Okay, you're doing too many transactions?
I've pissed off a lot of realtors. I've had my website taken down because it's like you're wholesaling all these properties that you don't own, you're direct competition. And I got a court order that I'm actually the first person on record in the state of New Jersey that had to work under a broker without a license.
Wow.
Well, I took the class and they tracked a bunch of my transactions, went through 5 of them, found out it was perfectly legal. I passed the class, never took the state exam. All the charges were dropped, and I'm here today.
Well, I will tell you.
Now I own a brokerage because you don't have
right.
to be a realtor or a broker, so that works.
So I'm gonna tell you because this segment of the call is or this podcast session is about in a way what I'm going to be doing.
Yeah, what are you doing?
And one of the things I'm actually working on this year is opening up a brokerage. And the idea behind it was it's been on my mind for a long time. I would say 4 or 5 years. I was actually going to do something with someone about, I would say, 6 months before COVID came around.
Okay.
And the idea was really interesting. The idea was I studied, the company EXP, which is one of the fastest growing brokerages.
Yeah, it seems like a bunch of bandwagon jumpers. It's like
I kind of reverse engineered their process. I researched them. I think they went public in 2011, 2010, around then as a penny stock. And it wasn't until around 2016 or so, 15, 16. This is what I'm aware of, that they only had around 1,000 or so agents around that time. And then 2019, they had 30,000 agents.
Wow.
And so something happened. Something happened from 2011 until 2016, and then something happened from 2016 to 2019. And I think what happened was they figured out how to grow themselves as a company. I don't know if they had the MLM model early on or not, but whatever it was, they didn't know how to grow themselves until 2016. And once they did, it exponentially grew. I did research on like how much they gross, how much they potentially net, and the numbers were bad because even with 30,000 agents, if you compare to the 30,000 agents at Keller Williams, and Keller Williams has way more than 30,000 agents, but if you compare in terms of the same number, every 30,000 agents Keller Williams has was making twice as much as what EXP agents were making. So gross wise, EXP was making half. And back in 2019, EXP was only worth $1 billion. But then COVID came around, and if you look at it like I would say 2 months ago, the EXP stock was up to like $50-$70 a share, and that was after splitting. My point is like it was worth like about I think $5 to $6 billion a month ago. Today it's worth like I think $3 to $4 billion because it fell. And so before I even knew like that it was gonna work, I came up with the idea was like I was just gonna create something like EXP. And people always ask me like, Nick, why don't you just join EXP and build your arms and legs through that? And I can do that.
I don't think guys like me and you do that. And
exactly.
Like, if I've learned anything just from watching you is like you don't even really look at anything unless it's scalable.
Right. Like I'm fortunate to be in that kind of position, you know, like and so because I am, like, why not, you know? And I think EXP, like the people that it really made money for are it's not the people that went public, because when it went public as a penny stock. Mm-hmm. And all those guys today sold their shares. It's been like 5-7 years, a long time ago. It's kind of like buying Bitcoin when it was like less than $1. And buying 1,000 of those shares and expecting to hold those coins for 9 years. It's very unlikely, you know?
It's very unlikely, but I have all my computers from my old office, and I know my old marketing team would use Bitcoin to buy drugs on the dark web. So I bought a machine to put all the hard drives in, and you find little fragments here and there that are worth tens of thousands of dollars.
My point is, like, I was thinking, like, why don't I just create the same thing? I know how to pack a room. I know how to, because I can pack rooms anywhere, I know how to get it so that way I can create an environment for my agents to recruit. You know, like EXP, they're like, hey, you sign up and then you sign up your friends. They're not helping people create environments, you know? Whereas me, I know how to create environments. And like, when it comes to free events, it's a very different animal. Like, free events is very easy for me to grow. How's
the quality of people at a free event though?
Well, that's a great question. See, it's a game though, Chuck. Like, what I mean by that is this: like, you need noise before you can focus on quality.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like
if I look at Screen Grabbers group, they'd have like 500 people, right? Early on, it was like a wedding, and like they legit had homeless people showing up with their fucking dogs.
Right.
And then they upped it to $20, and 400 people didn't show up anymore, but 100 did.
Exactly.
And that was pretty good.
So it's a game. It's kind of like the problem is that people are always like, oh, I'm going to go after quality right at the bat. And when you do that, you're going to get like 4 people. And when 4 people shows up, it's not even worth it. Even though they're great quality people, it's not enough.
Yeah, it's like dating. You know, you got to go through a bunch of practice girls before you go out with the runway model.
Until you find the right one too, yeah. But so that's like marketing. And so that was my idea. I was going to create something like that. Around 6 months or so before COVID came around, the business partner I was going to work on it with didn't work out. And so because of that, I went and got someone else that I know get their broker's license. And then I'm supposed to become an agent so that way I can build a first leg. Like, I don't plan on selling a house. I just plan on recruiting. Like my game would be just recruit 30,000 agents.
Yeah, it's an MLM. Like I used to do that credit restoration MLM.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
I restored my credit, right? And I was like, holy shit, this shit fucking works. And then I started fixing people's credit at the mortgage company that I had that couldn't get a loan. And then I started recruiting people, and I would literally donate back a sale to stay active every 2 months. And 3 months later, I looked at my downline, and I had like almost 3,000 people, and I'd made almost, it was a little over $500,000 in 3 years. And it was from like $20 into like $3 increments, like in my downline.
So my whole goal was create something like EXP, scale it in terms of amount of people that are in the company, hit 20, 10, 20, 30,000 agents, or show that I can produce a faster growth ratio than EXP, and then take it public. And the people that join early will be the beneficiaries of the company. Because EXP isn't even like a cash cow, you know. And I meet so many agents and brokers that are like, Nick, like, you know, EXP is not a cash cow. It doesn't make a lot of money. And I'm like, yeah, it doesn't. But the stockholders do. And the people that are active do. And so even if you have like 100 agents, only one is active. That's the only one that cares about being active. You can't force the other 99 to do something. But the other 99 is important to go public.
Yeah, I know in my 3,000 person downline, most of the sales were under 3 people.
Exactly. And there's nothing we can do to change that. But it's great if you go public, because the larger the amount of people working in an organization, it's in essence, you're getting what's called free branding.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so basically you want to start an MLM brokerage.
Yeah, same thing, and build it up fast and take it public. That's it. And the thing is, like, I didn't know EXP was going to go from 1 billion to 7 billion, but it did during COVID, of all times.
Yeah, I knew a lot of people. It was just like, not that I would ever stoop to being a realtor, but I saw so many people just jump and run to EXP, and I think what kind of repulsed me from it was they're the same people that jump on every other fucking bandwagon.
That's true too, yeah. But we already know a lot of people are
it's
like,
the next big thing. You were on the last 7 big things.
It's not even the next best thing. It's like if one thing doesn't work, they jump.
Yeah.
They don't stick to it to make it work. You know, but that's just the nature of, I guess, being human in a way. You know, because I've never toyed with being an agent, but it does work. Like, I mean, John Steingraber, he's an investor, and he's also an agent, and he's killing it with his realty firm right now. And his firm is more focused on production. You know,
and producers. He's got the following.
So yeah. What
about personally? Where's this going for you? Like, what's the future hold?
Like, I mean, to me, that's just a game. Like, so building something like EXP is just a game. And what I mean by a game is kind of like, I realized that, like, you know, I know how to put groups together or draw people out, put groups together. And I just saw that something like EXP was kind of like, it's like it's meant to be. Like, I'm supposed to do this because I can easily draw people out and get them to become part of something big. It was like, I'm a big fan of the book called The Alchemist. And in the book, it talks about like the universal language, where there's like these omens that you run into in life, and good or bad, it's not what it means, but it's like the universe is constantly talking to us and sharing with us like an easier way to do things. And so the way I saw it was like, I know how to pack rooms already. I know how to gather people and draw people out already. And I'm also in the real estate space already. I'm just not playing the realtor game, you know, but I don't have to be an agent. I can just grow a big firm.
Yeah, you could. I mean, part of the way that my mind works is like, I went through a period, like a transition period in my early 30s, like 31, 32, 33, where it was almost like all right, I got this fucking crazy work ethic where
Yeah.
I can go for days without sleep, just crank on shit. And then like something happens, and I don't know if your fucking hormone level drops or you just grow up, or it's like, I don't even want $1 if I have to work for it. You know,
I know what you mean.
it's more rewarding when you can put the team of people together, improve their life drastically, right? And I mean, it gets really cool when I got 10 people making 100K plus a year. Some of them
Right.
cracking fucking two. And when I met them, they didn't have a pot to piss in or a window to throw it out of. Half of them were fucking homeless. I bailed them out. There's a loyalty, and now they're living in a house I own, driving a car that I own, and killing it, and like going on vacation. They got properties, and like that seems to be more rewarding. Kind of live by, you teach enough people to get what they want.
Exactly. Yeah.
You want. And,
No, that's exactly it. Like, so for me, like, people always ask me, but Nick, you're not an agent. Nick, you don't know how to even sell a house as an agent. And I tell them, look, I just know how to draw people and get people together. And I'm sure that in that pool of people, someone's going to stand up and they're going to say, Nick, I know how to sell houses really well. Okay, since you do, why don't you create a training or some sort of mentoring of some sort, and do that with the community that I'm building.
yeah, you need lieutenants. Like,
exactly.
You play together, but you need generals, and you're over here as like the president. You need this guy to lead the troops here, and another guy to fucking take people over there, sales trainings, whatever. But why are you doing it? I mean, obviously, I don't think you need the money. You just like to challenge. Like I'm learning to want things again.
Yeah.
In my mid-40s, where it's like, I kind of, dude, it's almost debilitating to the point where it's like, I wanted a house with a hardcore gym. Yeah, I got that. I wanted to get all my traveling done. I got all this fucking shit, right? Took bodybuilding to a level I didn't think I'd be able to take it to. And it's like, I guess the reward for me now is just changing my people's lives and like that loyalty and building confidence in them. And like sometimes I have to let things fail so they can learn.
Right.
Fix them with me. And that winds up being a lot of times a bigger reward than, ooh, I closed another deal and made another 100 grand. So like, I'm just trying to dig and figure out like, what's the why? Like, what does the money represent?
So there's a few ways. Right?
More expensive cars, Nick. What do you want to do? Help me out.
So there's a few things, right? Like, I'm really into kind of like understanding like myself, and there's the game of like, hey, what are your fears? And overcoming them to see what life is like after overcoming your fears, because you really don't know.
Yeah, one of my fears was public speaking.
Right, same here.
Terrified. Then later I met you.
And you became a killer at it. Right?
I got a contract to speak on stage with the Learning Annex for Trump.
That's what I'm saying. You became a killer at it, right? And I personally think life fears is really life passions, meaning like whatever your fears are, it's if you just face it, you're gonna see it's actually what you love, because once you face it, you'll start to enjoy it, and once you start enjoying it, you'll see like, wow, this is what you really love. It started off as a fear, but it's really what you love. It's kind of like there's talent, and then there's like fears, and you can go and manifest your life through talent, or you could go manifest your life through fears, overcoming fears.
Yeah, talent is not always a blessing. Like I
agree with you. I agree.
I could sell fucking ice to an Eskimo, salt to a slug, and raid to a bug.
Right.
But, really, a challenge has just been like learning to work with and manage teams of people. And I get what you're saying with the whole like life is about overcoming fears. Probably once a week in my office, I have to sit somebody down and go, listen, there is no difference between fear and excitement.
Right.
They're the same fucking emotion. Excitement is fear you run towards. Fear is excitement you run away from. And I use things like your first friggin' wrestling match or MMA match is like really the analogy where the first time you got to pee, you're sweating, your heart pounds, you don't want to go out there, you do okay, maybe you win, maybe you lose. And 2 years later, your heart pounds, you get sweaty, you got to pee, and you go, this motherfucker doesn't stand a chance.
Right.
I feel bad for him. because you're just confident in your ability.
So in terms of, to answer your question, like why am I doing it? So there's the game of fear and talent, and then there's the game of like I feel like I'm supposed to do this. Like I feel like I was put on this earth to do something like this, to do something big with a lot of people, and it's not to make a ton of money from that. It's that I can help a lot of people. You know, I my goal is to create something that could enable hundreds and thousands of people to do what they want to do. You know, and I feel like that's probably one of the easiest things for me to do that.
Yeah, and when you seem to focus on that and just not care about it, it amazes me that I got people in my organization that it's like, how are you so greedy and so broke? And I usually have to get rid of those people.
Right.
Right?
That's different. Yeah.
And it's like, I mean, I've been at a point for the past 10, 15 years where it's like we close a transaction. I'm like, all right, guys, figure this out. And like doesn't he want to figure out the splits and what?
Right.
Really, the exciting part's over. I got it done.
It's it's
Throw
the
it on
game.
the pile. Throw it on the pile. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like you're doing the art. You're making it. You're playing with art, you know, and you're just doing it for art.
Yeah, it's I tell people all the time too. I'm an artist, and real estate is just my medium.
Exactly.
And I've definitely just learned to love the game, and I'm happy with the victory. Like this is the closest thing to fighting for survival, and
Right.
I just really enjoy it. So I get it. I mean, you're a pretty good person. I always got a good vibe from you. So I don't think you're
Thank you.
bullshitting. I think you generally want to do that. What else? Like what does it represent to you other than like, and I did it. Like my first hedge fund is launching now in 4 weeks, right? I got
Yeah.
$10 million in commitments already. It doesn't even fucking do real estate, which originally we thought we were gonna do, and it just represents like a path that I've been on since 2009. It's like you get close, you get knocked down, you get close, you get knocked down, and like the shit performed a 96% return last year. It's gonna win, but it's like I've just kind of conditioned myself to want it because I don't know anybody who's done it.
There's so many games like I played the game of like mortgage notes, for example, for a period where I bought these mortgage notes. And you can make like 100 return a year, and they'll continue to pay you, you know, long term. And I've met people that have like 500, hundreds of millions of dollars worth of like funds, you know,
Uh-huh.
and they make these great returns. And the craziest part is like their team was very small, you know, and so because their team is very small and they make these crazy returns, like they make a lot of money. They're netting a lot of money.
Yeah, it's like tax problems, Phil.
Exactly. But like for whatever reason, as much as I played that game and I do enjoy it, I'm more drawn towards doing something that involves a lot of people. You know, and that's why like I even run the real estate club. Like we don't charge much for the club. We pretty much just cover the hotel costs with the membership fees. You know, and so the data on my club is this: I was able to grow up to 3,000 people. Okay, over a period of 2 years. So 3,000 members over a period of 2 years, uh, covering New York, New Jersey, and Philadelphia. Okay. Um, and the craziest part is we only had three closers, meaning like Elijah is a person that does the event, and then he presents people the membership, and then people sign up or not. So we only have three guys doing this, and we were able to sign up 3,000 people. So from that, I learned, hey, wait, the real estate club only has three real closers or promoters signing people up, and we got 3,000. A company or a brokerage firm with the model like EXP, everybody that's in there is a recruiter. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I
And
get what you're saying.
yeah, so
The potential for growth is like limitless.
exponential, you know, and and the thing is, it's kind of like I was building the real estate club because I found a lot of direction and help when I was in the real estate clubs. when I
Oh,
first started.
it's a tremendous resource. I mean,
100%.
my network after 5 years of speaking in my CRM, Nick, was 52,000 people that had paid anywhere from $20 to hundreds of thousands to listen to me talk. And it was like, when you get to that level, you want to fund a deal, you blast it out to the people that
Exactly.
you
Yeah.
do
Yeah.
and then they fight over it.
Right.
And
Right.
it's completely your network equals your net worth. And I mean, I got a few regrets in life. I think part of it might be walking away from that, but I also checked off everything on my bucket list in like a, 31 to like 38-year-old body. So that was kind of cool too. I don't have to do it in a fucking wheelchair.
Right. By the way, Chuck, how old are you?
How old do you think I am, Nick?
I'm not sure. I think you're probably like the same age as me, like 40 at the most.
Yeah, I'm 43.
Okay, 43. Okay, I couldn't even tell, honestly.
No, I've been trying to figure it out too, man. All my friends have like gray hair and shit and wrinkles.
Exactly. Yeah, yeah.
And then
I
I
think it
figured,
has to do with lifestyle.
well, definitely lifestyle. I mean, believe it or not, live pretty clean. Like, I've been
Right.
sober for 5 years, and I've got a lot of long stints in between there, 7 years, other shit where I just don't party. And then I also found out the fact that redheads, and more specifically, and you can Google this shit, people who have the trait to have a red beard actually go gray 15 to 20 years later in life, and sometimes not at all. So I'll take that.
I didn't know that.
I didn't know that either.
I
But I
didn't
was
know
like,
you
what?
were a redhead.
I don't know I was either. I just stopped shaving and it came in. I'm like, what the fuck is this? It's red.
So the EXP thing that I want to do, it's an idea I have on the table. I am actually currently taking my realtor's classes right now. Like, I'm doing this instead of taking that right now, but I'm supposed to do my like 80 hours and then I can take my test.
Where are you taking it?
Doing it online. I have a friend who owns a school, and so I'm doing it through him right now. And so maybe it'll happen. There's that business, like there's that opportunity, and then there's the opportunity of going with apartment buildings, like I was saying earlier, and I want to finish that point. What I was saying, like, I thought when I first started real estate that I was gonna eventually go to apartment buildings, at some time or another, and so I felt like I had to build up onto it.
Mm-hmm.
And my advice to anybody that wants to go apartment buildings, like large complexes today, is if that is what you want to end up doing, try doing it as soon as you start. Because I know a lot of people personally that have succeeded not flipping one house, doing it. I've also known a lot of people that have flipped many houses and it didn't work out. And it worked out for them only when they went into apartment buildings. And I also know people that had no money, absolutely no money, that made a killing in apartment buildings. And so don't wait is what I'm saying. Don't wait and don't think that you have to slowly build up to get into it. It is scarier. It's going to be way scarier. Not having any money in the bag, not having a story to sell or to tell people, so that way you can raise money. But it is possible. And I would say the reason why I say this is because you don't want to wait and then realize by the time you can do it, you're bored of the game.
Yeah, no, I get it. And like, that's part of how I keep the game from being boring, is just working through my people and quarterbacking shit. And I mean, of course it's going to be scarier that there's less of them. The numbers are bigger, next level, next devil. But I always tell people, you know what the difference is between closing a $20,000 deal and a $200,000 deal? Nothing.
Zeros.
It's the same process, same everything, right?
Yeah, everything, exactly.
Sometimes the smaller ones are harder.
That's the thing. That's 100% right. That's 100% right, because people, like, when you raise money for a small deal, they're thinking like, I can buy this deal. Why am I doing this with you? Why do I need you to do this? But when you're doing a large deal, they automatically think, I can't do this deal by myself. I need to deal with somebody. And they need somebody to have another 10 people that can pull the money together to do it.
part of why I built the hedge fund, because it's scary.
Yeah.
And I got $10 million in commitments. I got to run it for 2 years with audited financials. I got fucking
Bro, if you're gonna do a fund like that, I would do 5 years, bro. Because I've done the 2-year thing, and I would tell you my advice on it is that like 2 years is amazing if you don't run into any bugs, meaning like surprises or bullshit, you know. But
bullshit.
Exactly. and so like I would raise for 5 years and try to get everything done within 2 years. And so that way if you run into BS, you can your investors aren't like breathing down your neck trying to be like, yo, you said 2 years, you know what I mean? Because I've done that. I've been to that trip, bro. I would say like 7 years ago, 8 years ago, I started on 3 funds, and one of my fund I raised just for, I would say, 6 months, because the project was only supposed to take 6 months. This wasn't a house. This was a fund, you know, and we were supposed to take this money, buy a pool of houses, and do this and flip them and all that stuff.
So this is like a Regulation D private placement.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Right, but it was like, I mean, I was already experienced with flipping, you know, so I knew that I can get these things, and we were gonna wholesale them, so we were gonna sell them at a discount and move them really, really fast. It shouldn't take more than 6 months to do a large pool, you know, and so I raised money just for like 6 months or a year, and a Regulation D, all it is it's just legalized paperwork saying all the risk to the game, you know. But
yeah, it's a gigantic CYA letter is what it is.
Exactly. But when you raise and you tell people, look, like, I'm gonna get this done in 6 months, you know, I should be able to get your money back in 6 months, and it takes us 2.5, 3 years to get it done. it like people didn't like it. You know,
no, I try to be the hero where I'm like, I'm going to do a 1-year term with a 1-year right to renew and a 6-month prepayment penalty. So if I get it done in 3 months, I'm still going to give you 6 months worth of interest because I don't want to waste your fucking time. And if it goes for a year, I got bad news. You're going to make more money.
You should talk to, I got an awesome lawyer if you want to work with him. His name is Joe Counsel. He's an SEC lawyer. And,
I'm actually on the SEC website. We're registered. It's official.
Oh, okay. So you already got it done already.
Yeah, but connection would work. You know, it's
so he does a lot of crazy SEC stuff, and he's been in a lot of like bullshit litigation cases. So he understands like how to handle them and what people need to do to like protect themselves correctly. You know, but like I've been through that experience, and it's a lot of fun when it starts, but if BS comes up and sometimes the BS is not even something we're aware of.
No,
you know?
More money, more problems. I mean, it's gonna happen.
Exactly. And so that's why to me, like, I would raise for 5 and try to do it in 2.
Yeah, I mean, I think I've heard Tony Robbins say a few times where it's like, you know, look at where you are today. If you knew you had to go through half of the bullshit that you went through just to get here, would you even fucking start?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's true.
Probably not. But
probably not. Yeah. But it's worth it once you get it done. Once you learn, once you go through it, it's awesome. It's an awesome experience.
No, I mean, I think I look at half the shit that I've been through, and it's like more than most people I know.
Right.
And
we live multiple lives. That's what it is, Chuck.
Yeah, it's a very unique lifestyle. You know, I mean, I could think, you know, a couple of years ago, I was hanging out at my sister's house, she's a dentist. My brother-in-law, he's a dentist. My cousins are there. They're engineers, right? They're all really smart people. My sister got out of dental school, and I actually bought the house for her because she didn't have the tax returns and everything else. And then, like, we refinanced me out. Everything was wonderful. And they're sitting there in the fucking hot tub bragging about, you know, I got 2 weeks of paid vacation. I got 3 weeks of paid vacation. And I'm sitting there going, I was actually like jealous for a minute. I was like, I don't have any paid vacation.
Right. Well, you also don't have to go to work.
Yeah, but then again, I just went to Costa Rica for a month and didn't. And the most satisfying thing was I didn't turn my cell phone on.
Right.
You know? But it's like you almost have to remember, and like their family, and I love them, but Jesus, like I don't really fit in.
Right.
You know, I don't go on like adventure trips with groups sometimes, and they're like, Why are you so quiet? What do you do?
Yeah, what we talk about is different.
Yeah, what do I do? What do I do? I'm a fucking professional public speaker, and I get paid to speak to people. So do me a favor, just shut the fuck up and don't ask me any questions unless you want to play. I'm on vacation. It's just it's different, and I don't know. Where else do you want to take this shit in the future, Nick? Like what else? Give me something a little personal here. Come on, there's got to be
A little
something.
personal.
Yeah, a little weird. There's got to be something different. That's very Nick Tang. Like you want like a Lotus or some shit. Like
So I have actually an exotic sports car, and
what do
I
you
used
got?
so I when I was younger, I was gonna grow up to be a car designer. That was my dream.
I could fucking see that.
Yeah. So I know how to draw really well, and I was always like rated the best artist. I used to draw like X-Men characters and all that stuff, and then but I eventually grew out of it. But then once I had enough money, I bought cars I like, and so I got an exotic sports car about 2 years ago. No, 3 years ago now.
What is it?
Um, so I'll tell you the story about how I got it.
Oh, you're like me, where like you can't buy yourself anything. Everything's got to be a fucking gift. You can't buy a Rolex. You got to get it from the seller. You can't buy a fucking motorcycle. You got to get it from somebody who bailed out of foreclosure.
So the story is I got into a car accident, and I went to the dealer that my friend owns, and I was like, bro, do you think like this car accident is major? And can you fix it for me? He's like, dude, this is like nothing. Like it was just a bump, and you don't have to really fix it, dude. And then I was there hanging out with him because he owns a dealership, and I was like, you know what? I was thinking of maybe getting an exotic sports car, and he's like, why don't you just get this car right here? And I looked at it, and it was the BMW i8. I didn't drive it. I looked at it, and I was like, okay, yeah, I'll get it. And he's like, you want to drive it? I'm like, no. And he's like, why not? I'm like, I love how it looks. Because
I had you pegged as more of like a McLaren guy or something.
so the McLaren is also a great car, but the thing is like it's the i8 is quiet.
Gotcha.
And I like to kind of like just drive and be able to not hear an engine. Like a lot of people like that sound, but I like to think.
Oh, you like me? You drive. You got no engine, no music.
Yeah.
Just alone in your thoughts. It's like meditation.
Exactly. Yeah. So I'm normally always like I actually have like an empty mind. So like meditating to me is like it's just like it's how I am normally. And so I bought the car, and he thought it was the weirdest thing because I never even drove it and I bought it, and so that's one of the cars I got. And then since then I got into the car business with him, and we ended up buying cars from people that are auctioning off their car, losing their cars, whatever reasons, and we bought a bunch of exotics as well from that. And it's really fun to be able to drive like all these different cars whenever you want. But then it gets boring because
you make money off of it too. It's like I get it. You have, but it's either the entrepreneurial gift or the sickness. Like
right.
I mean, I got Lyme disease. 2016. I was fucking paralyzed, crazy shit. And then I got a medical marijuana card, and like now I own a farm.
Right.
Because you can't. It was a candy. I'd have a candy shop. I'm pretty sure you would.
Right. So since then I got the car business thing going on right now. I'm not personally involved in it. I'm more involved as like the guy that provides the money and sources capital whenever we need it.
What are you going to the auction or?
Yeah, we have access to the auctions. It's to be honest with you right now, like depending on the month, it's cheaper to buy from Facebook.
I believe it.
Yeah,
I might have to send you a list of things that I'm looking out for. My
okay.
car and I don't know.
Like right now, it's so crazy because right now, so we've been flipping a lot of Teslas, right? And like I don't know why people don't do it. It's so simple. It's like
it scare me, man.
Huh?
They scare me. I feel like it's too new.
No, but it's a game, bro. It's just a game. It's a game of data, right? Like, so we're buying brand new Teslas. Okay, like so
what are you picking them up at?
So 5 months ago, 6 months ago, you can pick a brand new 3, okay, for 36,000.
Yeah, it's a little one, right?
Yeah, the cheapest one, little one, is 36,000. You can pick it from Tesla directly. You have
Yeah,
to buy it directly,
I
and
think
then
they're up to you.
you'll get the credit from the government for 5,000. So it's normally for sale for like 41, 42, but because you get the credit, you actually get it for 36. And then what we did was in the beginning when I first started, I was buying cars from Facebook Marketplace, and then we would sell it direct to seller right off of Facebook again. Okay,
What's your markup?
um, we're typically trying to buy at least $2,000 below market. Okay, and then you're flipping it like literally within 24 hours. So you buy and you flip, you know. But the Tesla game was really different. The Tesla game, you had to buy from Tesla, you had to wait for it, and then because we were buying it for 36,000 and we're selling it for the market, like from the dealer, it's like 50 grand, right? But we can't sell it to a seller directly for 50,000 because a person isn't walking normally around with $50,000 to buy it from us. And we discovered that we can sell it to dealers, car dealerships, because they don't have inventory.
Yeah, supply and demand.
Yeah, and so car dealerships were paying us that price, and then you're like thinking, well, how do they make money if they pay us that price? They make money on the financing of the car. And
Yeah,
so,
I've been in that game. With
yeah,
the restoration company, one of the things they would do is finance cars too. And for years, I would get a piece of literally like every Toyota sold in Bergen County that was financed. It was nice.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I didn't even. I stumbled into it. It was an accident.
Same here. Like I'm just into cars, you know. And I was like, oh, okay. You know, my friend has a car business, and he flips cars. And then he asked me for money one day, and I lent him money. And then next thing you know, we started like getting into a lot of it.
Yeah, it's like anything else. It could be addicting, and it's fun, and then you systemize, hand it off, and start something else.
Right. Be honest with you now, I want to, like, one of the things I was thinking of doing was like I might want to get into airplanes because I always wanted not to.
You can get a plane. You can get a plane cheaper than cars, right?
I have no idea.
You can get some of those like little single prop planes, like 20 grand, 15 grand. It's
Really?
yeah, they're dirt cheap. I've looked at them. I've looked at ultralights. I was pricing out a fractional jet for a while just because it made sense. It was like I could fly people to where my properties are. If I put 14 of them on there, it's $14,000 round trip. The first sale pays for gas, and I make money, and the rest of it's gravy. Plus, instead of driving 3.5 hours one way, I just get up in the morning, get on the jet, and TSA pre-check, drive onto the tarmac, and I'm home for dinner.
Yeah, to me, it was kind of like it's just, you know, an experience I wanted to kind of like have, you know, because even with the exotic sports car, it's kind of like after a year or so, it's kind of like it's not a car, you know. So even if I was like on an airplane or something or get into the airplane business, I know that eventually it's just going to be it's an airplane, you know.
Yeah, you have it because it's a panty dropper. Where are you? I'm on the jet.
I don't even know if that works. That you, I don't think that's as important. I just thought
and
like,
it does, but
oh, okay.
they're not exactly the ones you want to hang on to, but it works. So,
but so yeah, so the EXP thing is something I'm thinking about doing. I'm also like with the events I currently do, I'm working on scaling it nationally now. So we're toying with that this year.
You have business networking events too, right?
Yeah, we do. Yeah, we do a bunch of them because what we've learned is that the marketing strategy is the same.
Yeah,
It's a different audience.
People are people.
Yeah, and so if you understand how to do it for one, you know how to do it for all of them.
Mm-hmm.
So that was something I'm looking at. I'm debating on. Like even with the dating space, I'm finding like a lot of people, a lot of my friends that are 40 and up, they're all single because they've either been married and now divorced, or they've always been single and they're still single.
Yeah, I mean that's something that I've always played around with, and like it's amazing. I've got all these videos giving people stupid dating advice on TikTok, and like I'm funding real estate deals off it. But like every morning, I wake up to no less than like half a dozen testimonials. Like I can't believe it worked, and it's just I'm just doing it because it's fun. You know,
Right, right. It's
I'll make a video in 30 seconds, edit it while I'm taking a shit, post it, and it gets a million fucking views. And like, it's just crazy.
right.
It just seems like it's not everybody wants real estate, not everybody wants cars, not everybody wants a jet. Everybody wants to get laid, Nick.
That's I think a fact. Yeah, that's a
They call it the oldest profession for a reason.
right.
This may be another conversation for another time, but my pimp hand is strong.
Right.
I do my best to keep it that way.
I guess to sum it up, kind of like I know I have a thing. I think my superpower is gathering people and getting people to come out and get together.
I would give you
And
that.
I just need to kind of like decide like how do I want to like what kind of communities am I trying to create and help and do it. That's really it. So those are my kind of like options on the table right now.
Okay, so we've got some decisions to make. So next question, and we'll try to keep it quick. But Jesus, I think me and you could fucking probably talk till the sun came up.
Right.
It's 8:30 now. You got a little bit more time?
I can talk a little bit. My
Let's,
time is really just so I can spend with my kids. That's really it.
Yeah, I mean, it's same shit. I'm gonna go next door and kind of help her with the nursery and.
Right. Oh, did she give birth already?
No, it's supposed to be March 10th.
Okay. So soon.
Got a little bit of time, yeah. So the next question, Nick, is going to be: what is the biggest challenge that you're facing?
The biggest challenge that I'm facing. The biggest challenge that I'm facing. Let me think. It's not time. It's not money. It's kind of like what you were saying earlier. I think it's kind of like, what do you want to do? Why are you doing this? You know, I think that's probably the biggest thing.
Yeah, it's weird. It's like such a self-exploration thing when you think about it. Like I know for me, it's just like reestablishing boundaries. Like, because I just sit there and give my fucking time away to everybody, and before you know it, it's like Jesus, this is like almost self-abuse.
Yeah, it's I think there's things that you and I can understand. Like we understand there's certain things in our life that we understand so well, you know, and because we understand it so well, now it's like why still do it if it's not for money, if it's not for like kind of like all the desires of life? Why do it?
Because I'm stupidly good at it. Like,
I know, but it's weird.
And so are you. But it's like you have like, I hope you don't take offense to this, but it's almost like I've been told this too. You have like this savant-like ability to where it's like you can almost effortlessly do what most people work a lifetime to not accomplish.
That's what I'm saying. It's
It's
kind of like so what I'm saying is you understand. You know,
Yes.
you understand what it's like to be there with certain things in your life.
Me and you are probably the two fucking closest human beings we're gonna meet to like X-Men. Okay.
Right, exactly. We got powers and we're trying to figure out what are we gonna do with it and why are we using it? You know, and it's not even a power that we have to take advantage of anybody or anything. It's just we've discovered it and we've enabled it. We've learned to use it.
You tapped into it and you can use it. You'd probably be the best of the best or the worst of the worst. You just consciously got to make decisions to do good with it and be blessed.
So I don't know if that answers your question, but I think that's my biggest obstacle, because
Decided what to use your gift for.
Exactly, because one of the things I've always wanted to learn how to do was like how do I raise my kids? How do I teach them? You know, because it's kind of like if you help them too much, it's bad, and if you don't help them enough, it's also bad. You know, so there's like a balance. There's an art to it. And
I got plenty of friends in wealth management, and like they'll flat out tell me like the biggest fear with some of these people in like positions like us or beyond is just like that these kids grow up with zero work ethic whatsoever and like massive drug habits, and it's like
right
because you wanted to give them a future, they're fucked up.
Yeah, you wanted to give them the future you think they want, you know, versus in a way the future they want, you know. because I think like it's really interesting if you if you look at like families that are wealthy.
Mhm.
At some point or another, like some generation, uh, they end up losing it all. If not if not the kids, their kids. And so there's a disconnect at some place, and I think a lot has to do with the fact that it's like I learned how to make money in real estate, and because of that, my kids should also learn how to make money in real estate. And that's how we'll stay rich. You know, and to me, it's more like I learned how to make money in real estate. But if my kids don't want to do real estate, or they don't have to, and they shouldn't, because if I keep trying to force them into it, they'll do it until I'm dead. And then once I'm dead, they're gonna do what they want to do.
I think a big part of it is just discovering yourself and what the fuck it is that
100%.
you want. And I mean, for me, I think a big struggle too was like just being afraid to admit that I wanted it. It's like the internet wasn't exactly there, and I was afraid to tell people I wanted to be a bodybuilder. I went from like 160 pounds to 295. It's kind of noticeable. It's like you put on a person.
That's it.
And that's like, hey, I want to do this. And the hardest thing is telling people you want to do it.
I think you hit the nail on the head, Chuck, because you said you wanted to do it. And that's what I'm saying. Like, it's kind of like if you have kids, and as much as you want them to do real estate, it has to be them wanting to do real estate. And so whatever they want to do right now, help them do that. So that way they can get over it. Because eventually you get over the things you want to do once it's done.
Or you fall in love with it.
That's but you got to go through it. You got to keep going. And when I say fall in love or get over it, it's not. I don't mean like you get over it because you don't like it. You get what I meant by it is that you get over it because you've accomplished your dream with it, your goals with it, and now you want to get a new one, another dream, another goal, and eventually hope that one of those things before you pass away is your kids is into real estate.
I mean, if they want to do it, and if nothing else, I would want it just to be where they learn to channel that desire, where like
exactly,
it was like just learning to want something that bad that you're willing
and accomplishing
to do everything to get it. And it's like, I wanted to be a bodybuilder. It meant the fucking world to me till I did it, and I realized it wasn't shit. I wanted to be a millionaire before I was 30, and like, I mean, I've been telling kids that since fucking junior high school. I did it at 29. Fucking lost it all and more by the time I'm like 33. But at a certain point, you get there, and you realize it's fuck, but it's nothing, right? And it's like I'm so far ahead of everybody else, but I got to raise the bar and just keep achieving, or I'm not happy.
And I think what I want to point out is that a lot of people have these wants, but they don't actually go through it. Meaning they don't actually accomplish it, and then because they don't, they actually are in a way always chasing it. And versus what we're saying here is you wanted to be a bodybuilder and you accomplished it. And then once you accomplished it, you realize, you know what? Now I want to be something else. And you're going to go accomplish that. So
I can remember standing on stage in front of 1,000 people in my fucking less than underwear.
Right.
Going, there is not too many people up here with me.
Right.
And there's a wave of like just a roar of the crowd. And it's like, holy shit, I did something most people can't do.
Right.
I think you want to be rich next.
Exactly. So I think that's the most important thing is to raise my kids, whatever their goals are, share with them that they can actually accomplish it and they can do it really fast. They don't have to take a long time to do it. And then once it's done, what's next? And go accomplish that.
Yeah. You get depressed, Nick?
Do I get depressed? I used to. And then I learned that I realized when I started looking at myself, like about 4 years ago, I started learning that depression is a choice. It's a state that you choose to go into.
If I'm not chasing something, I fucking find like I have to just constantly be like hunting something down and killing it.
Really? Is that what you like?
I can't even go on long vacations without doing anything. Like I have to have something. I go fishing because there's something to achieve, and like I want to know what it's like sometimes so badly to relax. I mean, this is part of why like I love my wife now. It's like it's part of her job is like she helps me detach, but I'm not very good at it for very long. And it's like if I'm going after the next thing like wholeheartedly and it's difficult and I'm exhausted, I sleep better, I'm happier, I just feel more like myself. And if I'm not chasing the next thing, I just it's almost like I don't even want to fucking live. It's weird. I'm just
I had
wondering. I'm feeling a lot of similarity here. I'm just wondering if you experienced some shit like that.
I used to be like that. I used to so I came up with a lot of really interesting perspectives. This is entering the space of spirituality, uh, and like kind of like life perspective. And I ever since I was young, I realized I didn't realize this, but looking back, I realized it like today, these days, is that I wasn't chasing anything, and I was just fortunate enough to, for whatever reason, be chased.
Mm-hmm.
Like, cause like with my first girlfriend, like she was hitting on me,
Well,
you
I
know.
mean,
And
you are a sex symbol, Nick. Like,
no, if you met me back then, you'll be like, Nick is the weirdest guy. Like I was Steve Urkel. Okay, I was an Asian Steve Urkel. Okay,
there's a lot of
I had
women
the
in my
big
life.
glasses. Okay, I was super skinny. I was tall, but I was just, I had, whatever it is that she was attracted to, and and what I've come to realize is that state of being is a way of life, but also another way of life is chasing, like getting what you want. And I don't think it's actually chasing. It's like you identify what you want and you go get it. Like you manifest it.
I make the world bend to my will. And
So,
like,
but to me, that's not chasing. Okay, to me, that's the mastery of changing the world.
it comes with this crazy hyper awareness of just everything around
So I
you.
know exactly what you're talking about, Chuck. I know exactly. But so to me,
Welcome to the autistic spectrum, Nick. I'm like a 0.5. I'm slightly
so,
there. I get it. I feel it.
so this is what I'm saying, Chuck. I think there's the chase, the guy that's going out there trying to change the world, right? And then there's the guy that understands how to change the world without doing anything, without having to work for it. And to me, that guy is the one that makes the world work for him. Like you know how to walk, so that way you get the attention or whatever it is that you want from that walk or from that look.
I just walk like that. People follow me.
but what I mean is, like, if you wanted to turn it on, you could. Yeah. But if you wanted to turn it off, you could. I
wouldn't even show up.
Exactly. And I think that's like the master of one. Like you're a master of yourself because you can turn it on and turn it off. There's people.
Study.
So when I was younger, I didn't know how to turn it on or off, and so what I'm saying is kind of like so if you know how to turn it on and off at your command, that's when you are the person that can manifest and change and make the world conform to you versus you conform to the world. Yeah. So I agree, and I know exactly what you're talking about.
Fantastic. All right, that's just I don't know.
So I know how to do that with events, and I know how to do that with certain things in my life. That's really interesting. I've experimented with a lot of it. I'm very fortunate to overcome a lot of fears through public speaking and learn how to use that when I want to. But I also feel like it's kind of like cheating, and so I try not to like ever use it. Because some spaces, it's like you're cheating because you have the ability to,
Yeah, I can command the room. I can get people to do things that they don't want to.
Right, exactly. I've seen it.
It's literally almost hypnotic to the point
exactly
where, and I don't know when I learned to do it but I can see it. I can fucking.
You can make it happen when you want on command.
It's just this weird magical superpower, and I've learned to be careful with it because it's like I can go into this frat party and leave with 3 people's girlfriends, but that's probably not a good idea.
Right.
I'd be nice to me, or I will.
Right.
I don't know.
How did we lead? What led us to this? It was the biggest challenge, right?
Biggest challenge.
The biggest challenge is really just like
deciding what to use your talent for.
Yeah, because I feel like I have all this power that and I'm trying to figure what to do with it.
Well, you know what Uncle Ben said, right?
With great power comes great responsibility. 100%.
You know what you have to do, Peter.
Right.
I'm sorry, Nick.
No, I know. It's
I could be a little bit of a comic book nerd too.
But you know, it's I think this power exists in everybody, or a power like this exists in everybody. It's just that you have to go through the hurdles, go through, the obstacles of life, and once you get through it, you're gonna see this power you have. Because I think the obstacles of life is to tune you into being able to understand and use these powers. Yeah, and now that I have it and know how to use it, I'm just trying to figure out what to do with it.
I feel like, so your biggest challenge is you just got to decide, right? And you got to decide what the right thing is. And I mean, I feel like another thing I've learned to do over the years too is like originally it was a lot of just getting through things in life. And now it's just being present.
Right.
Like this is happening 2 weeks from now, but I'm here now today. This is it. I'm going to enjoy this.
Right. Yeah. Right. So to answer your question, do I get depressed? Like to me, like I think it's a cool state of mind to be in sometime, to see what it's like to be on that side of reality.
Mm-hmm.
But to know that, but at the same time know that, hey, it's a choice to stay there mentally.
I would agree with you.
Yeah.
I would agree with you. And sometimes for me, it's been difficult to snap out of it, but eventually you got to kick yourself in the ass. I mean, that's part of why I wake up and work out every day. It's like,
exactly. I was going to say
something for me to do. It gets me moving. You never seen somebody who just did 100 burpees go, wow, I'm sad. It doesn't fucking happen.
Right.
Before anything else happens in the day, it reminds me that I matter. I'm doing something for me. And now we can go take on the empire and the world.
Right.
So
I think it's just gonna change your perspective for a second, and as soon as you do, you're like, wait a minute, this thing is so small. Like, why am I worried about this, or why am I even depressed?
Yeah, you know
Depression's a choice.
You know what I worry about?
What's that?
I don't know either.
Yeah,
I gave it up a while ago.
If I ever feel like that, I just Google kids that are hungry, and I look at those pictures, and I'm like, yo, I'm spoiled. I don't have these problems. Being sad is a privilege. Being depressed is a privilege. That's how I see it.
Yeah, absolutely. Because there's so many people out there with fucking nothing. It's like, what are you depressed about? I mean, I used to use the example of people all the time where it's like, I got this cold calling coaching community program thing going on right now. And it's like, I got these kids that went to like Montclair and these other schools and no student debt. And like, they're barely scraping shit together. And then, I got one guy from like Haiti and another guy from like the Ukraine. And it's like, these guys know what it's like to fucking struggle. Like they came here, that took some fucking nuts. They're killing it.
Right.
And the other guy said, I'm sad. That's fucking good. Go watch YouTube.
Right.
You go flip channels. We're going to flip houses.
Right.
So last question is going to be Nick, and we're going to take it home. All
okay.
Right? What's the best shit you got going on in your life? What is the best thing?
I think, honestly, my kids.
Yeah?
Yeah. I think having kids is something that everybody should have when they're ready.
Mm-hmm.
I had my kids when I was not necessarily ready. And so in a way, because I just said that, I think we're always ready. It's just that we don't feel we're ready, but I think the best thing everybody could have is their kids. And it's like, I tell people all the time, like, you don't really know what love is until you have kids, because there's the love of your wife or husband, but the love for your kids is different. It's deeper, and
I would agree with you.
Yeah, so that's the best thing I have in my life, hands down.
It's awesome.
Yeah,
So
and
you got Ethan, and what's the little one's name?
Ethan and Evan. And
Yeah.
I'll also say this: like I, a lot of people when I was first having my when I was having my first expecting my first child, uh, a lot of people would say, Nick, you should spend time with your kids. They grow up really fast. And what I've come to realize what that means is it's not that the age is what grows fast. It's the childhood personality of who they are, the child character of themselves is
Yeah.
what grows fast. What happens is they grow out of it. They grow out of it very fast because we want our kids to be smart. We want our kids to be mature. And so what I come to realize is when we encourage our kids to grow smart and become mature at a young age, they grow out of being a child fast. And so if you have kids or you're expecting kids, uh, be present with them during that period of time because once that's gone, it's not coming back.
No, it doesn't come back at all. And
Yeah.
I don't know. There's a unique part of you that makes me think you're a little bit like fucking Peter Pan anyway.
So the funniest part is I'm still a kid. I feel
the same way. I'm a 43-year-old child over here, and not
exactly.
a child with lots of responsibilities and other shit. But there's a part of me that just never fucking grew up. And
no, you know what it is, Chuck? I know what it is because I'm just like you in this way. What it is this. What it is we have another side of ourselves, and that side is our adult side, and that side is the side that we develop to make money, to do what it's got to do, so that way we can be a child again. Because you can't be a child and an adult necessarily at the same time. Or not, it's not that you can't, it's just we don't enjoy it. But we know when to be an adult and we know when to crush it. And then with the people we really love and want to be with, the people that we can actually be ourselves with, that's when our real childhood self comes out.
Yeah, I actually said something to my wife about that the other morning where it's like, I think this might be part of the things that I like really love about you is like, I've kind of gotten to experience some chunks of my childhood that I really didn't have. It's like, so let's just go on vacation once a month for the next fucking 3 years or whatever and fuck off and do different things. And it's just good to be a kid again. It's good to just do nothing, to play.
I just become Nick. Like I call my business guy Nick. Okay. I'm Nick when I need to be.
Yeah.
Okay. But my real neutral person is the guy my mom and dad gave my name to, and that's Trung, and so that's the guy I am with my kids. Gotcha. Like people, the funniest part, Chuck, is like I went out as Trung because I don't normally do my hair when I'm Trung, right? And I dress down, okay. And then when people that know Nick would see me but not recognize me, and then they would just walk right past me, and I'm like, that's great, because I don't want to be Nick right now. I don't want people to know me. I just want to I want to do my thing with the people that I want to do it with right now.
You almost had to create like a persona.
I think like you're a Tony Robbins fan. I'm a Tony Robbins fan. One of the greatest things I learned from Tony was like naming yourself. Because like there's like the person that we are when we're angry is not the same person that we are when we're sad and when we're neutral. And so when you name yourself, what happens is you can then call out that character. And so it's not necessarily even a persona. It's just understanding that character is not your neutral you. And people will always look at it as like, if you have multiple character personalities, you're crazy, right? But the reality is the crazy person is the person that doesn't recognize that they have multiple personalities.
Yeah, I mean, I've gotten better now just at not addressing things when hey, I need a minute. I don't get angry often.
Exactly. You can turn it on and off.
But I am. And that person is terrifying.
Yeah.
And so for your good, I am now going to remove myself from the situation. It's okay to be mad, but I'm doing this for you because I don't like me right now.
But you know what the craziest part is? It's a trigger because like when we get triggered, we go into one person or the other. And so when we name our characters, our personas, we can actually come out of that trigger faster because we're like, hey, I'm not supposed to, like, this person doesn't solve anything. This angry person doesn't solve anything. Or this person doesn't solve anything. This sad person doesn't solve anything. Like, being sad doesn't fix the problem.
No. Being sad is a waste of
time.
the most precious gift that you have. It's like, you can lay in bed all day, lay on the fucking couch, watch TV or whatever, and then like you look at that amount of time and
that's the most valuable thing.
You just wasted 2 fucking weeks. And
yeah,
I mean, at our age, I think you become more and more aware of it. I mean, I was fortunate enough to become aware of it, I think, pretty early on in like junior high school, college, where
you're really lucky, Chuck. You're really lucky.
I mean, I bought a fucking Nintendo. I remember I woke up like 6:30 a.m. to play like Super Mario Brothers 3 on my Super Nintendo. I beat it by midnight.
I love that game.
Yeah, right, with a little fucking foxtail or raccoon, and I turned it off, right, and I had nothing.
Right.
And I gave the thing away the next day.
Wow, that's crazy.
It was just like, this
powerful.
This gave me nothing. Like, there's nothing to show for it. This was a waste of a day. It was fun, but how is this going to get me any closer to anything?
But you know what the craziest part is, Chuck? I would say that the future has a lot to do with gaming.
Yeah, it does.
Gaming in the future is like as if it's one.
EXP is a video game.
I mean, what I mean is like business is a game, life is a game. But what I mean is like NFTs, crypto, metaverse. It's actually what to me what I see is like reality and like real life is now blending with video games. Like what I'm saying is this: like in the future, I think we could go into a box, but the box, because of our glasses or our eyes, we're gonna see it as if it's a house with wallpaper or paint, whatever it is.
Yeah, this is some real Matrix shit right here.
Yeah, and we coined it the Matrix, but we look at it as like it's a problem. But our kids, they love that stuff. You know, there's more money now. Like there's so much money now being made virtually through selling virtual products than ever before, and it's only growing and growing.
I mean, I just basically adapted my entire teaching business model to a software as a service online community.
Yeah,
where it's fucking nuts. I mean, I'm giving these people like $50,000+ worth of shit for like $200 a month, and
right.
It's all online, and I miss the face to face. Like, I'm enjoying this. I get to actually fucking see you. It's pretty close to like being in a room. Like I can feel.
Right. But
our kids now, and they can't even talk to people.
Our kids is the future audience.
Yeah.
And our kids are not. They don't want to see us in person, face to face. They're cool with the virtual stuff.
I don't know if I am, man. I'm still gonna miss like.
We're gonna miss it, but we're also gonna die, Chuck.
Yeah,
our kids are not.
Sometimes I'm surprised I'm still here. But
you know what I mean.
It's been close a few times. I got last rites once. All right, man. We've been on here for a while. I feel like I definitely got to bring you back on just to talk about some other shit.
Bring me back next time. Talk about like crypto, NFTs, and like the future of business or future of reality.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I'm definitely gonna bring you back on. Maybe a couple other guys too. But where can people find you, Nick, if they want to get you?
You know, I tell people all the time, if you want to talk to me one-on-one, just come out to the live events that I'm at. I currently come out to them right now because, you know, because of COVID, attendance went down. And so I'm rebuilding things. So because I'm rebuilding things, I go out. You know, 2 years ago, pre-COVID, because it was so established, I hardly showed up. And so if you want to meet me, talk to me in person, you know, the live events are the best place. Another place is Facebook. I'm on Facebook. People always ask me for my number. I don't give it out. But people can just easily message me on Facebook. You know, I don't know why people don't do that.
I have your number and you respond better to Facebook.
Exactly. I hate my phone.
Yeah, I think we all do, right? Like my phone doesn't ring, and hasn't rang for
Exactly.
4 years, it is in a setting where it does not ring for anybody. Like
Right.
if my parents or my family call me twice, it will ring, and that's it.
There has to be an app. I don't know. Like, if is there an app where only certain numbers can ring? Because if there isn't, somebody should make that app.
I'm sure there is. I'm gonna have to check the comments of the podcast later. If people watch it to the end, we'll get a bunch of them.
All right, bro.
All right, man.
It was a
Listen,
pleasure.
Nick, it's definitely been a pleasure. I'll send you messages. I'll give you the previews when we drop this. If you can, share that Willie Delanco thing for me.
I will.
Let's get him some exposure. And
I love Willie.
yeah,
So I
dude,
will.
good. Thanks, brother.
Thank
All
you.
right, man. Peace. I'll talk
Later,
to you
man.
soon. Bye-bye.